Good morning. This is Paula at the Jidon Library, and this is Paula's Picks. Today I'm going to read you books about autumn because autumn is just around the corner. And so my first book is called Fletcher and the Falling Leaves. It is written by Julia Rawlinson and illustrated by Tiffany Beakey. And I am reading this with permission from HarperCollins Publishers. Fletcher and the Falling Leaves. The world was changing. Each morning, when Fletcher bounded out of the den, everything seemed just a little bit different. The rich green of the forest was turning to a dusky gold, and the soft swishing sound of summer was fading into a crinkly whisper. Fletcher's favorite tree looked dull, dry, and brown. Fletcher was beginning to get worried. "I think my tree is sick," said Fletcher. "What's wrong with it?" his mother asked. "Its leaves are turning brown," said Fletcher. "Don't worry, it's only autumn," she said. Fletcher ran back to his tree and patted the rough bark. "Don't worry, it's only autumn," he said. "You'll be feeling better soon." But the tree didn't get better. Each day, more leaves turned brown. One morning, the wind blew a small brown leaf off of a branch. Fletcher jumped up and caught it very gently in his paw. "Don't worry, tree, I've got your leaf. I'll fix you." Fletcher looked around, picked a piece of grass, and carefully tied the leaf to a branch. Just then, another gust of wind ruffled Fletcher's fur. The little leaf shook itself free and fluttered back to the ground. Fletcher picked it up again and thought very hard. Then he poked the leaf onto a twig and pushed it down firmly. "Now you hold on tight," said Fletcher. "No more flying around." The little leaf gave a tiny rustle in answer. The next day, a strong wind was blowing through the forest. Fletcher rushed out of his den and ran all the way to his tree. Lots of branches were bare, and little lost leaves spun everywhere. Round and round and round whirled Fletcher after the swirling leaves. "Leaves! Wonderful! Just what I need for my nest," said a squirrel. "But these leaves belong to the tree," said Fletcher. "Don't take them away." "The tree doesn't need them anymore," said the squirrel, bounding off. "Help! Help! The wind and the squirrel are stealing our leaves," cried Fletcher. "Leaves? Terrific! Just what I need to keep warm," said a porcupine, rolling around. "But these belong to the tree," said Fletcher, plucking leaves from the porcupine's needles. "Not anymore," snuffled the porcupine, and away he rolled. "Help, help! The wind, the squirrel, and a porcupine are stealing our leaves," said Fletcher. Suddenly, a flock of friendly birds swooped down from the sky. They picked up the leaves in their beaks and poked them into the tree branches. Soon the tree was leafy again, and Fletcher flopped down and smiled. "Thank you, birds, thank you," he gasped as the birds fluttered away. He lay looking up through the leaves at the sky and drifted off to sleep. But the wind continued to blow, and the branches still danced. The leaves shivered and shook themselves and began to wiggle free. They tossed and turned and twitched and twirled and tumbled to the ground. They brushed Fletcher's ears and nose and filled his dreams with a whispery sound. When Fletcher finally woke up, he couldn't believe his eyes. Instead of a roof of dancing leaves, all he could see were bare branches against the sky. "Oh, tree, I am so sorry. All your leaves are gone. But then he saw, high in the branches, one small leaf holding on. I won't let the wind steal that one, said Fletcher, and he began to climb. He crawled along to the last leaf and held it firmly onto its branch. All day long the wind blew, the branch bounced, and Fletcher held tight. I'll stay with you, Leaf, he said. Don't worry. But then, with a sudden whoosh of wind, the branch bounced high. With a plip, the leaf let go and fluttered like a little flag clutched in Fletcher's paw. Fletcher looked sadly at the leaf he had promised to save. He carried it carefully down the tree and back to the den. He made a cozy little bed for it and gently tucked it in. But all night long, he could only think of his tree, all on its own. At dawn, Fletcher tiptoed outside. The wind had finally stopped blowing, and the air was cold. The moon still hung in the clear sky, and pale stars glimmered. As he came to his favorite tree, Fletcher saw a magical sight. The tree was hung with 1,000 icicles, shining silver in the early light. You are more beautiful than ever, whispered Fletcher. But are you all right? A tiny breeze shivered the branches, making a sound like laughter. And in the light of the rising sun, the sparkling branches nodded. Fletcher gave his tree a hug. Then he went back to the den for a nice, warm breakfast. There's the pretty tree. The end. Okay, my second book is about a little leaf, a little yellow leaf that wants to hang on and doesn't want to leave the tree. And it is called The Little Yellow Leaf, written and illustrated by Karen Berger. And I am reading this with permission from HarperCollins Publishers. The Little Yellow Leaf. It was autumn. In the hush of the forest, a lone yellow leaf clung to the branch of a great oak tree. I'm not ready yet, thought the little leaf, as a riot of fiery leaves chased and swirled around him. Not yet, thought the little yellow leaf. As the afternoon sun beckoned and teased. Not ready, thought the little yellow leaf, as apples grew mushy, pumpkins heavy, and flocks of geese took wing. Still not, he thought, as the other leaves gathered into great heaps, crackling dry where children played. A chill filled the air, and the sun sank low. Not ready, thought the little yellow leaf, as a heavy harvest moon bloomed amber in the starry sky. Not yet, not yet, not yet. Through the long night, snow flurried, and the little yellow leaf held fast to the great oak tree. Days passed by, and still the little yellow leaf held tight, alone. He searched the bare branches, covered only with a shimmer of snow, alone. And then high up on an icy branch, a scarlet flash, one more leaf, holding fast. There it is. You're here, called the little yellow leaf. I am, said the little scarlet leaf. Like me, said the little yellow leaf. Neither spoke. Finally, will you? Asked the little scarlet leaf. I will, said the little yellow leaf. And 1, 2, 3, they let go and soared. Into the waiting wind they danced, off and away, and away, and away. Together. The end. The little yellow leaf. Now I have another one about yellow leaves, but it's called Yellow Time, and it is written by Lauren Stringer. I can get this. Yellow Time by Lauren Stringer, and I'm reading this with permission from Simon & Schuster. Yellow Time. These have nice big pictures. The squirrels are too busy to notice, and the geese have already gone. Other birds have left too, but not the crows. Crows love yellow time. They fill still leafy trees with their voices announcing it's coming to everyone. Just before yellow time, the air smells different, like wet mud and dry grass with a sprinkle of sugar. Yellow time comes before white time, every time. Everyone is ready. The trees can't hold on forever. The skies billow gray with clouds, and then it begins. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The wind blows yellow sideways, then up, then down. Everyone fills with yellow, yellow, a symphony of yellow. Children run in the yellow air. They let it catch their hair, cover their sweaters. They jump and turn in yellow time. It only comes once a year. And when it is over, piles of yellow pool in gutters, decorate sidewalks, blanket fences, steps, roofs, even an empty bird bath. Black crows fill bare branches and raise their voices in praise of yellow time. Squirrels, still busy, bundle final touches of yellow to their high leafy nests, while children below gather bouquets of yellow. So they can press it into thick books to remember what a lovely yellow time it was. Beautiful book, Yellow Time. Now my last one is called Leaf Man. It is by Lois Eller. It is a pretty big book with nice big pictures. Leaf Man used to live near me in a pile of leaves. Do you see him? There he is. There's his eyes, there's arms, there's legs, there's Leaf Man. But yesterday, the wind blew Leaf Man away. He left no travel plans. The last time I saw him, he was headed east, past the chickens. The chickens. Toward the marsh, over the ducks and geese. A leaf man's got to go where the wind blows. He blew over the fields of pumpkin and winter squash, and flew over the turkeys, past potatoes, carrots, and cabbages in rows. Then he blew out of sight. Is he drifting west above the orchards? Or over the prairie meadows? And past the spotted cows? Well, a leafman has got to go where the wind blows. Maybe leafman's gliding on a lake breeze, or flying along the river, following butterflies going south. Well, a leafman's got to go where the wind blows. He might even be traveling north above leaves that look like him, or flying over mountains with a flock of birds. When Leafman looks down on earth, is he lonesome for a home? This I do know. Where a leafman will land, only the wind knows. So listen to a rustle in the leaves. Maybe you'll find a leafman waiting to go home with you. All of those were made of leaves, all those pictures, the ducks and the chickens and everything. Great book. It's called Leafman. And now I have a craft for you. It is a scarecrow, because we think of scarecrows in the autumn too. And let me give you a look at him. There he is. There's my scarecrow. You can make this scarecrow any way you want. What you need is a brown paper bag and some construction paper. And then you need something for his eyes. I got buttons. So you might have buttons hanging around. You might have Google eyes. You can even cut eyes from the construction paper too. You need something for his hair. I found this nice yarn that was exactly reminded me of autumn, all the colors in it. So I chose the yarn. So if you have other yarn, yellow yarn. Now this yarn was kind of heavy though. So I'm always fixing his hair because it's heavy. If you choose something like raffia, then it's very, very light. So you can choose raffia, string. You can even cut up yellow construction paper and make hair with that. And then I cut out the traditional triangle nose. You might need a pen if you want to draw on his mouth, or you can make a mouth in any way you want to. And let's see, mouth, nose, eyes, hair. And then after you got all that on, I made mine a hat. Now I tried to make like a straw hat, but it didn't turn out too much like a straw hat. So I made it a little bit fancier, put a band around it just with construction paper. Little flower was just petals that I cut out and glued them all together, and then glued the circle in the middle. So then after you have your hat and your scarecrow face, any way you want to do it, just open up the top. And I should point out that I did put the top of his face on the top of the paper bag. And then here's the bottom. So you're going to open it up. And the other thing that you need is just a paper bag. And that goes in. So he puffs out. Then I'm going to close the top again. And then I want to seal the top. So I'm taking my glue, gluing inside just on the top. So you put the glue on, and then I'm squeezing it together. So there, that's the back, and the top is sealed. Then I take my hat, and again, I have to fix his hair because the yarn is heavy, out, so it doesn't cover his eyes. And then I'm going to glue the hat on there. So I just want to put the glue like on the bottom of the hat. I don't need to put it on top because it's going to stand up from the paper bag. So there's some glue. I'm sticking the hat on here. Do I have it straight? Oh, there's his hair getting all mixed up again. But there he is. And so there's my scarecrow all finished. Make your own scarecrow. Oh, see, I think I would have chosen raffia if I'd known this hair was so troublesome. But there's my scarecrow, and you can make one. So thank you for joining me today. And on Monday, next Monday, we will be making a cloud in a jar on STEAM stories. So you have a good day.